Tonight, when you hear a strange noise in the dark, your heart starts racing and you freeze. You might brush it off as nothing, but for 99.9% of human history, that reaction was not simple paranoia. It was the difference between surviving the night and becoming dinner. So think about this. What was the very first fear our ancestors ever felt? The one that shaped every human brain since then? The answer might completely change how you see your own fears and even affect how you sleep at night. Let's go back 2 million years. Imagine a time with no houses, no electricity, and no real weapons. Our early ancestors lived in small groups in the jungle, completely helpless and small. They were not the kings of the jungle, they were the prey. At night, leopards, hyenas, and saber-toothed cats ruled the darkness. Their eyes glowed in the dark. Their hearing was razor sharp, while our ancestors could not even see their own hand in front of their face. One wrong step away from the group meant waiting for death. That is why the very first real human fear was not heights or snakes. It was something much deeper and more powerful that came every single night, pure, total darkness that turned the whole world into a trap. Before fire, when the sun went down, everything changed. Complete blackness covered everything. Any movement could make you an easy target. Every sound, every gust of wind felt like a new threat. Scientists call these prepared fears things our brains are wired to learn extremely fast because they killed our ancestors over and over again. Darkness, sudden noises, big moving shadows. This is why kids today are still scared of monsters under the bed. Why a power outage makes the whole house feel haunted. Why the smallest creak at night makes you reach for your phone light. Your brain is not broken. It is simply running the old survival software from the savannah, following the lessons our ancestors burned into it through millions of years of survival. But here is something that changes everything. This fear was not random. There was one predator above all others that shaped human fear more than any other animal on Earth. The leopard. Researchers studying ancient fossil sites across Africa found something haunting early human skulls with leopard bite marks. Leopards did not just kill our ancestors. They carried them up into trees, out of reach, to eat them slowly. This is why humans still have a uniquely powerful reaction to large cats compared to almost any other animal. Children who have never seen a leopard in their entire life still react with instant fear to images of big predators. Your brain has a dedicated alarm system built specifically for this threat, carved into you over millions of years of being hunted by the same animal. And then, around 1 million years ago, everything changed. Humans learned to control fire. This was not just about staying warm or cooking food. Fire created a magical circle of safety, roughly 30 feet wide. Inside that glowing ring, predators stayed back. Step outside it, and the old danger returned immediately. But fire gave humans something even more powerful than protection. It added 2 to 4 extra usable hours to every single night. Before fire, the productive day ended the moment the sun disappeared. Now the night became livable, and over thousands of generations, those extra hours completely transformed our species. In 2014, anthropologist Polly Wiesner published a study that nobody expected. She spent years living with the Jus/Huanzi Bushmen of the Kalahari Desert, one of the last groups still living close to the original human lifestyle. During the day, about 80% of all conversations were completely practical. Who is hunting where? Which plants are ready? Arguments, logistics, food planning. Daytime was work. But at night, around the fire, everything transformed. 81% of nighttime conversations were stories, myths about the origins of the world, jokes that made the whole camp laugh until tears ran down their faces. Wiesner concluded that firelight conversation is where human culture was actually born. The campfire was the original classroom, the original theater, the original church, where humans first learned to imagine things that do not exist yet, where we stopped being just animals and started becoming something else entirely. But the fear of darkness never fully disappeared. It evolved into something far more complex. Once fire solved the predator problem, the darkness outside the firelight became something different. It became the unknown. And the unknown is far more terrifying than any leopard. Ancient humans began filling that darkness with something their imaginations created: spirits, demons, gods of the night. Every ancient culture on Earth independently, created supernatural beings that lived in the dark. The ancient Egyptians feared Apophis, the serpent of darkness that threatened to swallow the sun every night. Ancient Mesopotamians described demons called Lilitu that attacked sleeping people. The ancient Greeks feared Nyx, the goddess of night so powerful that even Zeus himself was afraid of her. These were not just stories. These were the direct descendants of that original 2 million-year-old fear transformed by the human imagination into something language could hold. And this is where it gets personal, because that same ancient fear is quietly destroying your sleep right now. Modern humans are exposed to artificial light an average of 7 to 8 hours after sunset every single night. The blue light from your phone screen, your laptop, your TV, your brain cannot tell the difference between that light and actual sunlight. When light hits your retina at 11 at night, your brain genuinely believes it is daytime. It suppresses melatonin. It fragments your sleep. It disrupts a circadian rhythm that evolved over millions of years in complete darkness. In 1992, psychiatrist Thomas Ware at the National Institute of Mental Health ran an experiment that changed sleep science forever. He removed all artificial light from a group of volunteers for 1 full month. Within weeks, without anyone telling them to, every single participant naturally settled into the same pattern: 4 hours of sleep, then 1 to 2 hours of quiet wakefulness in the middle of the night, then 4 more hours until dawn. Nobody suggested this. Their bodies simply remembered it, as if some ancient program had been waiting inside them the whole time, buried under centuries of artificial light. And what Vare found during that middle-of-the-night wakefulness was remarkable. Participants were in a completely unique state of consciousness. Their brains were producing elevated levels of prolactin, the same hormone released during deep meditation. They described feeling profoundly calm, reflective, almost outside of time. This was not insomnia. This was a specific human experience that artificial light has completely erased from modern life. For 300,000 years, your ancestors woke up every single night in total darkness and lay there in quiet reflection. We traded that entire experience for late-night scrolling, and most of us never even knew it existed. So here is the full picture. 2 million years ago, darkness was a death sentence. Fear of the dark kept your ancestors alive long enough to have children. That fear drove them to fire. Fire gave them extra hours. Those hours gave them stories. Those stories gave them culture, religion, art, language, and eventually, the entire civilization you live in today. Your 2 a.m. anxiety, your childhood fear of the dark, that strange unease when the power goes out and the house goes completely silent. That is not a flaw in your design. That is the oldest, most essential part of you, the part that kept 2 million years of your family alive through every predator, every cold night, every unknown shadow at the edge of the firelight. We filled the world with light and thought we fixed everything. But our biology is still standing at the edge of that ancient fire, watching the darkness, waiting. The next time the lights go out and that old feeling returns, do not fight it. Recognize it. It is the living memory of every single ancestor who survived the night and woke up the next morning to try again. And because of them, so did you. If this video made you think about the ancestors who fought through every dark night just so you could be here today, hit that like button. That is your way of saying thank you to every single one of them. And if you want to know more secrets buried deep inside your biology that nobody ever taught you in school, subscribe to ORN and turn on notifications, because the next video is going to make you question everything you think you know about yourself. Your ancestors survived 2 million years of darkness to get you here. The least you can do is hit subscribe so their story does not get lost. See you in the next one.